Jet streams. These are strong narrow currents of air with speeds greater than 60 knots found in the upper troposphere and characterized by strong vertical and horizontal wind shear. The dimensions are 1,000 nautical miles long, 100 to 200 nautical miles wide, and 1 to 2 nautical miles deep, with strengths greater than 63 knots. Jets form due to the north-south horizontal temperature gradients at the frontal positions of the major air masses, for example the polar maritime and tropical maritime air masses forming the polar front. Arctic jet streams can be found around 60 degrees of latitude. Polar front jet streams can be found around 40 to 65 degrees of latitude. Subtropical jet streams can be found around 25 to 40 degrees of latitude. Tropical easterly jet streams can be found around 10 to 20 degrees latitude, but typically near India. The jet sites are polar in the North Atlantic, subtropical North Africa in January, tropical equatorial in India, subtropical in Australia in July, and polar in South Pacific and South Atlantic. Jets of 300 knots are rare, but have been reported over Japan. The jet heights. The Arctic is approximately 20,000 feet, the polar 30,000 feet, the subtropical 40,000 feet, and the equatorial 45,000 feet. Jet core surface projections. The cold jet is 50 to 200 nautical miles behind the surface position of the cold front. The warm jet is 400 to 500 nautical miles ahead of the surface position of the warm front. Jet streams around the world. These may be seen in the polar region, the subtropical, the equatorial, the subtropical, the polar, and the Arctic. Mountain standing waves. In order for a standing wave to form, certain conditions must be fulfilled. An obstruction or barrier must be present. Usually mountain waves form at mountain ranges, but even isolated hills may occasionally provide enough of a barrier. A sufficiently strong wind must be blowing at right angles to the barrier. The necessary angle of the wind is plus or minus 30 degrees to the ridge. There is nearly always a stable layer of air extending several thousand feet above the ridge crest. A strong vertical wind shear should exist above the peak of the barrier. Ideal conditions exist with a jet stream aloft. A wind speed in excess of 20 knots at the surface and increasing with height. An inversion just above the crest level with less stable air above and below it. In mountainous areas, the most hazardous flying conditions associated with standing waves are likely to be experienced in the vicinity of the roll cloud or rotor zone beneath the first wave on the leeward side.